Everyone thought he was just another veteran in the crowd until the countdown began and he stood up shaking. Some heroes wear medals, others wear silence. Robert Hale didn't write a memoir. He didn't sign book deals or wave from parades. He just showed up, sat still, and waited for someone to remember. So now I ask you, have you ever heard a voice from the past that changed how you saw the present? Maybe it was on a tape, or in a letter, or sitting 3 rows ahead of you, waiting for someone to ask, say their name, tell their story, not because they asked for it, but because they earned it. The sky was perfectly clear, not a cloud in sight, just open blue stretching over the rows of chairs lined in silence. It was the town's annual Veterans in Space Program memorial, half military, half NASA, half silence. Families gathered with flags, with photos, with folded paper programs. And in the 4th row, 2 seats in from the aisle, sat an old man no one ever questioned, Robert Hale. No medals on his chest, no cap in his lap, just a worn brown jacket and a distant look in his eyes. He had been there every year for 17 years, never spoke, never clapped, never stood. He just came and sat. Most thought he was just another veteran, someone who had served, lost someone, maybe both. He never corrected them. Some kids joked he was mute. Others swore they'd seen him flinch every time the honor guard fired their rifles in salute. But Robert Hale never answered questions, only nodded politely when spoken to, only smiled when someone mentioned the stars. No one knew where he lived. No one knew what he did before he went quiet. That would all change when someone pressed play. 2 weeks before the ceremony, a young archivist named Maya Quinn was cataloging old reels in the local Veterans Museum basement. Most were mislabeled or silent, but one tape, dusty and half-warped, caught her attention. On the box, a S-31 voice log. Hale. She nearly skipped it, thought it was a maintenance log, but something about the name stopped her. She digitized the audio and hit play. It was static at first. Then, a voice. Calm. Focused. Systems nominal. Holding at T-minus 4 minutes. Adjusting thrusters. Tell Maggie I remembered the flowers. Her hands froze. This wasn't background chatter. This was a launch transmission, and it ended with, "Command, this is Hale. If we don't clear this orbit in the next window, don't wait. Push forward. Tell them I said it's worth it." Maya searched every archive. There was no AS-31 mission listed, and no living astronaut by the name of Hale, except the man in the 4th row. On the day of the memorial, Maya waited until the speeches ended. The flag ceremony had passed. The silence had set in. Then she stepped forward with an old portable speaker and simply said, "We found something. It's time you all heard it." She pressed play. The crowd leaned in. The same static. Then, the voice. To -3 minutes. Main line read green. Initiate delta alignment. The room shifted. A woman near the back gasped. One of the older vets muttered, "No way. That's not..." And then, without warning, in the middle of the 4th row, Robert Hale stood up. His hands trembled, his chest rose and fell sharply. But his face was still. People stared, some out of confusion, others out of reverence, even if they didn't yet understand why. Hale didn't say a word. He simply stood there, hands slightly trembling, as his own voice continued from the speaker. "Command. If this window fails, don't circle back. One of us has to finish it. I'll stay in orbit if I have to. Copy? I said I'll stay." The final words weren't dramatic. They were steady, professional, spoken by a man who had already made peace with sacrifice. When the tape ended, Hale finally sat down, still silent, still shaking, but no longer unseen. Later that evening, Maya found him alone on a bench behind the memorial. She sat beside him softly. "Why didn't you ever say anything?" she asked. Hale looked ahead. There wasn't anything left to say. He paused. They classified AS-31, never finished it, said it never happened. My crew, we weren't listed. No mission badge, no press. And the voice log, she asked. I thought it was erased. He held out a faded photograph. 3 men and 1 woman, suited up, standing beside a capsule prototype. One of them, unmistakably younger, was Hale. That's all I kept, he said. The next morning, the story had already spread. The local news ran a quiet headline. Unlisted astronaut identified at ceremony. No interviews, no press conference, just facts, voice logs, mission fragments, a name long removed from records. Robert Hale didn't show up for recognition, but he came back the following year. This time, he wasn't alone. 3 young cadets from a local aerospace academy sat with him. He didn't speak much, but when the recording played again, he stood up with pride. Thank you for watching the Astronaut Stories. If this story moved you, subscribe, share, and the next time someone stands up when a voice plays, look closer. They might be standing with history